First of all, we need to stop talking. As women, we wear many hats.
Definitely.
We worry about everything. Low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, continuously feeling that, oh my God, I can't do this. The women in the UAE actually are...
That was amazing. I didn't know what to say after that. I was like, whoa.
And as you know, Sophia, this is a global issue that we have made very little.
When I was thinking about my business as well, I had the same pain points.
Oh no, I can't do this. I cannot work with women only. Who would have thought? Women in space.
Yes.
In the
yes.
UAE. My first reaction was, oh my God, really? So don't be shy. Don't be timid. Always consider it as a leading example that the rest of the world should follow. But at the end of the day, what got the UAE to this point is
Welcome to Sheconomy, the podcast dedicated to celebrating the rising influence of women in today's economy. I'm your host, Sophia, and in each episode, we dive deep into the stories of successful female entrepreneurs, offering valuable insights and inspiration for the next generation of leaders. Joining us today is Nadine Halabi, a prominent figure in the business community and head of business development and operations at Dubai Business Women Council. Nadine is recognised as one of the 50 most influential women in the region. How are you today, Nadine?
I'm very good. Thank you, Sophia.
Amazing. So Nadine, let's start with what inspired you to join Dubai Women Council in 2011?
It's funny you mentioned what inspired me. It was actually a pure accident when I joined the Dubai Business Women Council, if I may say. I had just moved back from Bahrain. I had moved there with my family for 5 years. And then my husband's job position required him to come back to Dubai. So we had to move back to Dubai, which is home for me. And I was looking for a job. So while I was speaking to my friends, telling them if they knew of any opportunities, a friend of mine told me, you know what, there's a position available at the Chamber of Commerce. And it's basically to work with the Dubai Business Women Council. My first reaction was, oh no, I can't do this. I cannot work with women only. She's like, trust me, you should meet the president. She's really fascinating. She's a very powerful figure and she's very inspirational. So I was very doubtful. But when I met Her Excellency Dr. Raja Al Ghurg at the time for my supposedly interview, I was really extremely impressed with her. And I knew that it was going to be quite an amazing journey if I had worked with her and that I was going to learn so much. So I took the opportunity. And from then on, it's been, ongoing projects, continuous growth, development with lots of challenges, of course.
That's amazing. And since 2011, how have you seen the spectrum change for business women in this region?
There have been quite some changes since 2011. To begin with, there's been a movement, especially around 2011 to 2013, where women were venturing into entrepreneurship. They were leaving their full-time jobs and they were venturing into setting up their own businesses. Hence, the increase of the free zones that took place in Dubai. So that was it was a time where they were becoming more and more abundant. And the reason why women were shifting from their full-time jobs to set up their own startups was simply to be able to create that kind of balance between their work life and their personal lives, assuming that, of course, it would give them more flexibility, which it did for a certain percentage. So that's one thing. Another thing is we're seeing a lot of movement towards the tech space now. Women are embracing more and more technology or businesses that have to do with more technological baselines to them. That's that's a common denominator that we've been seeing lately. But in general, I can say that women have come a long way since 2011. Especially the Emirati community. The Emirati businesswomen have done phenomenal jobs and they've proven to be extremely talented and creative entrepreneurs themselves in various sectors, which is quite impressive to see for such a small country as well.
Amazing. And is there a key initiative that you can think of, or a program that you spearheaded while you were at Dubai Business Women Council that maybe supported the development further of business women?
Yes, there is one very particular project that I'm extremely proud of. Back in 2014, we had partnered with MasterCard, and we put together an initiative of sort of like an accelerator program. It was 6 months long. It was called Ru'ya. It's an Arabic word that means vision. And the story of Ru'ya is quite interesting because around 2014, as I told you, we've witnessed a lot of shift from the corporate world to entrepreneurship. However, we've noticed by speaking to a lot of women in the business community that there were some obstacles that stopped them from either taking the decision of venturing into entrepreneurship or acted as blockers when they stepped into the actual business setup. And they're all related to, number one, low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, continuously feeling that, oh my God, I can't do this. How can I leave a full-time job to venture into something that I'm so convinced of and I love so much, but I'm worried? Because, you know, we as women, we wear many hats.
Definitely.
We worry about everything.
You do,
so
indeed.
that was one of the obstacles. Second thing is access to information. They had the idea, they had the passion, they wanted to make the transition, but they didn't know how.
Correct.
And that mostly was related to the financial area. How do I create my financial plan? What were the legal points that I had to look into? Is there anything that I have to pay attention to when it came to hiring, firing, etc.? So there were certain blockers there that these women had no access to understand or to learn. Yeah. And so with that, we thought that it was a great opportunity to create this accelerator program where we can invite any woman who wanted to set up her own business or scale up an existing business and take part in a 6 months program whereby the experts at MasterCard and their partners came to us and helped us curate the content of these 6 months, whereby we really helped help these women create and set up a business through ongoing courses, ongoing seminars and workshops that were really digging into the fundamentals of business setup and business scale up. And the beauty of this was it was the first program that was that had actually incubated around 64 entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, yes. And it ended up with 3 major winners. We had a very nice jury set up, and we did like a pitch competition towards the end, and 3 winners actually left with quite a good sum of money to help them set up or scale up their businesses. So that was a very nice project. It's a project that happened at the time where it was needed. Lots of success stories came out of it. And then from there on, we kept building on accelerator programs and helping support these entrepreneurs with as many programs as possible.
That's amazing. I think from a personal point of view as well, when I was thinking about my business as well, I had the same pain points. How will I, from a legal perspective, human resources, all these things that we don't really know.
And finance.
And finance as well. So I think, you know, the program sounds amazing. And I think the fact that women have the support like this in the region is unbelievable. And I'm sure there's women who may be listening or maybe thinking they have an idea, but they don't know whether they should do something or not. It's good for them to know that there is like the Dubai Business Women Council who are supporting and then have initiatives like this. So absolutely amazing.
And you know, the beauty of the council, Sophia, is we always try to find out what the market needs.
Yeah.
And we try to fill that gap. Like, for example, we've just partnered with Oracle on a 1-year program that aims at educating and empowering women in tech and AI. Because there's this huge digital disruption taking place now, and women need to be equipped with that.
Yeah.
So Oracle have joined forces with us, and they are going to allocate a numerous number of their experts to help, you know, put together an ongoing series of workshops around AI for our members over a span of 12 months.
Again,
so
that's amazing.
We keep trying.
Exactly. And AI and technology, as we said before, is one of those key areas to really take us into the future. And I think, again, women find it difficult to, to take that step into tech or AI, and they almost have a bit of a fear about that area. So the fact that you've got that with Oracle is amazing again. So I mean, amazing stuff there. As an advocate for diversity and inclusion, what challenges have you faced in promoting gender diversity, if any?
Oh, that's a very good question. First of all, the challenges are ongoing. And as you know, Sophia, this is a global issue that we have made very little improvement in that area. I feel that it is a collective initiative that should involve governments, leaders, private sector, small, medium enterprises, individuals, and also the personal background and the personal aspect of raising the younger generation. So the issue of diversity and inclusion, it has to be on everyone's agenda. It has to be on the agenda of every school. It has to be in the way we bring up our children at home by simply playing the role. We don't have to keep badgering the children and talking about it over and over again. We have to talk about it, but we also have to prove it. We have to walk the walk, right?
Yeah.
And they will eventually emulate what they see from their parents, the mother and the father. Policy and governance is also very important. But I also want to say, when it comes to that, the UAE, as a very young country, has taken significant strides when it comes to really trying to create somehow a more reasonable balance when it came to the gender inclusion and gender diversity. And the proof is in the pudding, as they say. We've come a long way, and we're represented as women everywhere. We're in judicial, in military, in healthcare, in every single industry and sector.
True.
We're trying to erase that false stereotype. As often as we can. The UAE is doing everything it can to actually do that. But there still remains a challenge. As the Dubai Businesswomen Council and myself, we cannot be in any position to come up with any policies, but because it's not part of our mission. But what we can do is we can create a space where we can invite prominent men and women who are in very leading positions in the private and the public sector to come and talk about what they are doing in terms of best practices to, first of all, retain women.
Yeah.
Second of all, promote them and put them on boards. Third of all, a very important factor is what they are doing to bring the women back into the workforce after they've taken some time off for maternity or to tend to their families, etc.
Yes.
So in the last couple of years, the Dubai Businesswomen Council has really been working hard on joining forces with as many organizations as possible, as well as individuals who have been doing a lot of changes in their companies to increase the number of women in senior positions, to be able to somehow create the right kind of balance of genders. And it's a dialogue that where we won't stop having, because the more you talk about it, the more ideas come out, and it will resonate, hopefully, with the public, and hopefully there'll be more actionable measures taking place to be able to somehow reduce that imbalance with the genders.
True. And I think you're right. There's been a lot of progress that's been made already, but it's an ongoing thing. It's going to be something that's, that will get, I think we'll get better and better, and there'll be more inclusions in areas where we see as, male dominated or prominent, for that male gender. And I met a couple of really interesting, inspiring women not too long ago who were two Emirati women who were engineers, aeronautical engineer. And, it's amazing to see that they're taking the full force and that they are the face of that industry now. So, yeah.
It's fascinating. I mean, the industries, who would have thought women in space?
Yes.
in the
yes.
UAE. That's fantastic. And as a child of the UAE, in the sense that I was born and raised here, I had the privilege to witness this change. And it just makes my heart so proud to see that. And I do always consider it as a leading example that the rest of the world should follow. But at the end of the day, what got the UAE to this point is the vision of their leadership and the tolerance, as well as the agenda of making sure that women are included in everything they do. And they stuck to that mission, they stuck to that vision, and they persevered towards that direction. And eventually it got them to the place that they are today. And I'm sure there's more to come. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Exciting as well. Absolutely. Thank you. So do you believe that a glass ceiling exists for women in the UAE, hindering their advancements to leadership positions?
Personally, as Nadine, no. And I've been quite vocal about that. I do not think the women of the UAE have a glass ceiling over them. I think that it's either, most of them don't believe in it or are living as though it doesn't exist. And some of them have shattered it a long time ago. However, there are some obstacles that are in the way of certain women getting to what they want to accomplish. But then again, it's also relevant to their journey, sometimes personal situations, sometimes being in the wrong job with the wrong team at the wrong time. So there are all these factors that play out. But let's go back to your original question. I feel that a country like the UAE has given the protection to the women on every single level. I feel that they've done a very good job in ensuring that there needs to be some kind of equality in everything and in every industry, and they're trying to make that as abundant as possible. If you look at the families or the Emirati families in the UAE, which is something very important to consider when you want to talk about that, most of them have put so much effort in educating the daughters and the sons. That's a very important point. And when you look at families, you don't see that only the boys travel to different countries to get their education. Their daughters are sent abroad too. So that alone shows you that there's probably no difference between being a boy or being a girl. So we're talking from an educational perspective. In the job market, look around you. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's men, there's women, there's women who are leading family businesses here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Like my boss is one of them. Her Excellency Dr. Raja Al Gurg, she is the one who's leading an empire that consists of almost 32 companies, employing over 5,000 people. She is the decision maker. Of course, it involves her family as well, but she is the one in charge. It's been passed on to a woman. She's leading the legacy. And we see a lot of that here in the UAE. Another thing is you're protected by the law. So if anybody does anything to prevent you from obtaining your rights, whether they're financial, whether it's getting the right amount of vacation days as per the labor law, and so on and so forth, they can be penalized. All you have to do is make sure that you go to the labor department and you issue a claim, and then you'll probably get what you need.
Yeah.
So it's all about the leadership. It's all about how this country is created and all the policies and governances that have been put together. And another very important point is throughout my tenure at the council for the last 13 years, I've had the privilege of joining the board and the president of the council to travel around the world. So we've been to Southeast Asia, we've been to Europe, we've been to different parts of the globe. And these business missions puts us in a room with ministers, heads of state, sometimes prime ministers, first ladies, prominent business people in different industries to engage in a dialogue about the business ecosystem and the business landscape. This is our time to shine and show the world that the women in the UAE actually are protected. And they are not what the world thinks they are. We have freedom in managing our finances, our funds, freedom in our choices of jobs, freedom in everything that we do. We are basically treated as equal. And so when you travel on these business missions and you speak to people in other countries and you shed the light on this, the first reaction we get is, oh my God, really? So you're not, confined to the house and your jobs are limited. No, we have access to everything we want. We are very, very blessed. So that's a very important thing that the Dubai Business Women Council has been doing for so many years, which is acting as ambassadors of this beautiful city and this country to take it out to the rest of the world and erase the false stereotype that many people around the world have about the women in this part of the world, in this region, and specifically in this country.
So what advice would you give young women aspiring to become leaders and entrepreneurs in today's economy, especially in male-dominated industries?
Usually when we have speaking engagements in seminars and forums, and we're usually addressing the younger generation, I always focus on certain points that I would like them to have as takeaways. First of all is, don't be shy, don't be timid. If you have something that you want to say, make sure you say it. You don't have to be aggressive to get your message across because you're a female or because you're a woman. And that applies to all genders at the end of the day. Men shouldn't be aggressive, women shouldn't be aggressive.
True.
Another thing is there's this false stereotype that, you have to watch how you dress and how you present yourself as a woman so that you're not misunderstood as too masculine or too feminine. To be honest, to me, you can be whatever you want to be. You can dress however you want to be as long as, it's the right kind of attire at the right place. Always consider the audience. Make sure that, you're conservative where you need to be conservative. Watch how you speak in the sense that, again, you do not need to be assertive and aggressive because you feel like you're being intimidated simply because of your gender. There could be easy dialogues happening. Make sure that you are always voicing out your opinion, but within a very diplomatic, political, and polite and less aggressive manner. Another thing is, keep learning. The younger generation needs to make sure that they're always hungry to learn, because we're living in a time where things are evolving too fast for us. With this whole digital disruption and with everything taking place around us so quickly, it's very difficult for us to cope with these changes. And the best way to do so, within a reasonable margin, is to keep yourself educated.
True.
Listen to audiobooks, attend speaking engagements whenever you can, speak to people and ask questions, be hungry, be inquisitive, find out more through other people's experiences. That's very, very important. Another point is, you need to affiliate yourself with a group of people or with a network that can make you more. And when I say more, it's a very important adjective that I would like to use instead of better, because more will eventually make you better. We're all good. We all have our qualities, our traits that make us unique and that make us who we are. But at the end of the day, in the current world we're living in, we always need to put in that extra mileage in investing in ourselves, investing in our education, investing in making sure that we are affiliated to a network or to a group of people that will help us become so much more than what we are.
That's beautiful, and some really, really amazing tips there. Thank you so much, Nadine. So looking ahead, what are some key priorities or initiatives that Dubai Business Women Council is focusing on to further enhance the empowerment and success of business women here in the UAE?
Oh, we are extremely busy. The agenda is actually now focused on, of course, we have our ongoing workshops and seminars that happen almost on a monthly basis, where we collaborate and partner with organizations as well as individuals to curate content for workshops that will help add value or resolve certain challenges that our members are facing. For example, we see an ongoing urge in trying to educate the business community, the business women community, on topics related to finance, for example. So we're always trying to collaborate and partner with either banks or financial institutions or even individuals who are specialists in this area to come to us and help put together content for workshops that will really demystify this stigma that they have in their heads. So that's an ongoing thing on a monthly basis. We have these workshops happening. We also have our larger initiatives. We're going to be launching our mentorship program soon. It's something that we do every single year. We've completed 4 cycles, and we were able to mentor over 150 ladies over a span of 4 years, which is very it's actually
phenomenal.
It's been going very, very well. We also have our accelerator programs, which focuses on the slice of the businesswomen community who want to actually set up their own businesses or scale up existing ones. So accelerator programs is something that we're extremely passionate about. We've launched so many of them over the years with, of course, the partnership of other organizations and individuals. We have Sayyidati, which is now my biggest passion, because it is a 1-year program in partnership with Oracle to help educate and empower the businesswomen community on AI and tech. And it also includes mentorship programs within that umbrella, as well as networking opportunities with women and men in the tech and AI space. So it's really a very good place to be if you want to accelerate your business while navigating the latest tech and AI disruption that's happening around us. We have partnered up with Canon for our digital and artistic passionate members. So that caters to a slice of the audience who are into videography and content and imaging and all studio work and printing as well. So Canon have been very kind enough to provide us access to some of their top team representatives, as well as one of their biggest photography ambassador, to help, educate our members around certain aspects that are related to photography and imaging and that production space. And of course, there's more to come. So many interesting programs going on. There's always an update on the website. Whoever is listening and is interested in taking part in any of these programs, I would encourage them to affiliate themselves and join as a member to the Dubai Businesswomen Council. It's a nonprofit organization. Membership fees are still affordable in comparison to what Dubai, is charging in certain areas, because our point and our mission is to really give back to the community. And we are focused on empowering all the businesswomen out there to make them more and to give them access to connect with like-minded women so that they can grow and prosper in their careers. And I just want to add one more thing, Safiya.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I mentioned a lot of our partners. So partnering or partnerships in general and collaborations is also something that I'm extremely passionate about. And maybe that is also something that I would like to vocalize to the younger generation as well. When they start working and moving forward in their careers, it is imperative to always consider working with somebody who can help give you that little push towards that upward hill. Because if we all feel that we can do things alone, yes, we can. And of course we will succeed. But the impact of working with like-minded people or joining forces with like-minded organizations who share the same mission and vision can come a long way. And the impact is just phenomenal, individually and on society at large. So I'm very big on partnership. I'm very big on collaborations. The Dubai Businesswomen Council continuously joins hands with individuals and entities who share that vision. And so we're all about that.
So in your opinion, what are the most significant opportunities and challenges for women in business in the coming years?
Okay, that's a very good question. And it's something that I have been learning lately. As we all know, with COVID, if we felt like the world had stopped for a while, things were very slow. And we were all living in fear about not knowing what was going to happen next, etc. And then COVID was lifted, and suddenly the world was on fast forward. Connectivity was like times 10. And so suddenly we found ourselves super connected to the globe. And everything was happening so rapidly. The pace at the way we do business was super rapid. But then again, After that, we were, introduced to the buzzword, which is AI, AI, AI. So everybody was talking about AI to the extent where it took over every single discussion, but not in a positive way. There was a fear factor behind AI. Although it was, it always existed, but it was a little baby, per se. After COVID, it grew to this giant monster that is on everyone's agenda. And it created a fear factor because there was a lot of talk about certain businesses going obsolete because of AI. And so this was a challenge. So what in my opinion, it's important for everybody in the business ecosystem to be familiar and to be educated about AI. Understand it. Before you fear it, understand it, because it is existing to be... Initially, it's existing to make life better, faster, more efficient, more accurate, like accuracy in healthcare, in diagnostics, accuracy in the way we do business, not spending too much time on admin-related tasks when you can actually be spending more of your time focusing on the actual core business. So it is an enabler, an enhancer that will make productivity levels better. However, we always fear the things that we don't understand very well. And so educating ourselves with AI, getting to know it, maybe engaging in a couple of courses. And when I say AI, I'm not narrowing it down to, Chat GPT or all these, I mean, come on, it's so much bigger than that. But I consider it a revolution that's taking over the next couple of years. That will, yes, make life better and more efficient. But if us humans don't know how to use this technology correctly, it might lead to some downfall. But I don't want to be pessimistic about that. I want to focus on the optimistic side. And by optimistic, I also feel, as Nadine, that this could be an opportunity for women to be more engaged in that space so that we can help, use AI to create a more gender-balanced world. And how do we do that? Maybe if we, encourage the younger generation and the youth and women to learn more about technology, maybe they can be involved in the back end side of producing that software or producing those AI tools and make them more somehow female rather than completely male dominant in the way they're created and programmed. Instead of having all the programmers male, let's have more women in there. Because women have a different outlook on things. They have a different perspective. We think in a different way. We're more intuitive. We multitask. We wear different hats. And so when we're brainstorming in a room, our input is just as valuable as the male's input. So creating a place where women play a role in the fundamentals and the basics could hopefully lead or pave the way for a future that's more gender diverse. Possibly.
Absolutely. So don't fear, but actually get involved.
Get involved.
See it as an opportunity to get involved.
Exactly. And when we say get involved, it doesn't mean become a software engineer. It's just about, there's so much information out there. It's like quadrupled over the years. And with AI, it's going to get even more and more. But the thing is, like I said earlier, we fear the things we don't understand. So why stay in the shadows? Come to the limelight. Come, access more and more educational platforms, read more articles, connect with people who understand it, and find out from them, what is this buzz all about?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree any more than that. Nadine, could you share your personal perspective on using modern channels and influencer partnerships for spreading awareness about gender equality, diversity, and women's empowerment initiatives?
I am a very, very big advocate of diversity and inclusion. And I'm also a very big, passionate advocate of partnerships and collaborations, because I see value in that. I see power in that. And what I've done with the council, with my involvement with the council over the years, is I've always included the men in the discussion. I've always included the men in any initiative that we've launched. Again, there's the perspective of the women and then the perspective of the men. There is added value that the men can bring to the table and added value that women can bring to the table. And we believe that society cannot operate on 50%. You need to have the other 50% involved to be able to give the right outcomes. So when we talk about diversity and inclusion and my take on partnerships, I think it is going to remain an ongoing thing to involve both genders in the discussion. We're going to continuously work with individuals and organizations who have the same mission in terms of delivering the right outcomes for the business ecosystem at large. And I feel that when we continue to work together, great things will continue to happen. And when I say together, I am not segregating between male or female. It doesn't matter. It's about a person who has the passion and who has the vision and who wants to make this place or this world a better, more tolerant, more inclusive place for everyone. So the Dubai Business Women Council, myself, we are going to make sure we're always on top of things, trying to bring solutions to challenges, working with the right partners and individuals to make sure that there's quality, that there's things that are brought to the table that can actually provide solutions for the business community, and making sure that, as I said earlier, always involving the men in the dialogue, because we don't believe that only 50% of the population can give the right added value.
And as we said earlier, I think men and women have different perspectives, so we need both perspectives.
Exactly.
To make things work.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
when we had these mentorship programs, you will be surprised to know that most of the mentors who came on board, and it's a free initiative because it's an added value for the community. Most of the mentors who came on board were men. They were willing to give the time and to allocate, the space and the availability to the mentees in order to empower them and make them more. They were mostly men.
That's brilliant.
So there are some men out there who really believe that there should be a more gender inclusive world that we live in, because they also believe that women can bring so much more value to the table.
Absolutely. Nadine Halabi, thank you so much for all these insights and valuable tips. I'm sure everybody has got so much value out of this episode. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sophia, for having me. It's been a pleasure.